Alrighty, hi there, 7th graders. Today we are doing reteaching with 1 and 2 steps. Today, focusing on the ones with the parentheses. That's our distributive property equations. Okay, so when you have those parentheses, you've got to remember do something with this 2. You cannot touch this 5 until we do something with this 2 first. So we're going to review what we can do to get those taken care of. Now, yesterday you had some assignments, so we will eventually get to checking those and seeing what you should have gotten for your answers from yesterday. But let's compare the difference between a problem with parentheses and a problem that's just already a regular 2-step equation. Okay, so what do both things have? Well, we know they do both have the same. They have a -4. They both equal 24. They both have an x. They both have multiplication and subtraction right now. Okay. So let's see what we would have to do different. So if I did this regular 2-step equation first, what's the opposite of subtracting 8? We would add 8. So you remember we would do that to both sides. So I'm going to go with a smaller font there. Let's go ahead, drop it down to 26. Perfect. Okay. Well, then we would still have our -4x, but now that would equal our 32. Okay. So the opposite of multiplication we know is division. So I'm going to divide on both sides. Okay. We're going to divide by -4 on both sides. That helps that all cancel out.
Not all the glasses cleaned out.
So that now we have x equals a -8. And of course, checking our work is -4 times a -8 minus 8 equals 24. Well, we get, what is 32 minus 8 equals 24? We get 24 equals 24. Just what we wanted, okay? I showed what I was adding on both sides, showed that I was dividing, got my solution, and checked my answer, okay? So this here is our solution. Let's see if we get the same thing when we come over here. Now remember, distributive property is where I take the number on the outside and multiply it to everything inside the parentheses. Okay, so that would be like having -4 times x minus -4 times 8. Does that still equal to 24? This is where it will change what real equation we have. Our -4x stays the same, but now remember these two negatives here will cancel each other to make a positive 32 equals 24. Then I would need to subtract 32 on both sides. Okay, so then I still have my -4x. That doesn't go anywhere yet. And 24 minus 32 actually is going to give me a -8 now. Okay, because remember, if I started with $24 but spent 32, my bank's going to yell at me that I am in the negative. Okay, now let's go in. What are we dividing both sides by? We are going to divide both sides by that -4 so that it cancels out. Okay, because then I can sit there and be like, ooh, let's cancel out. Just like we did over here. That canceled out. Those canceled out. These canceled out. That's the whole point of it. Okay, so then if you did the math already, you already figured out x equals -2 2. I'm not negative 2. 2 negatives make positive. That's my solution. Notice how now they both got different solutions. Okay, that is perfectly fine because they ended up being different equations, all because of these parentheses. And of course, I'm going to check my work. Is negative 4 times the difference of 2 and 8 equal to 24? Well, do your PEMDAS parentheses first. 4 minus, or 4, not minus, 4 times negative 6. Remember, you got two negatives. They cancel each other out, so we get 24 equals 24. Both solutions are correct because technically we have two different equations. Okay? All right. Now let's get to our notes here. Remember our first step. We talked about before how you could divide by 5, but so many students are getting confused. So let's forget that option for right now. Distributive property, turn your bay into baby. Okay? You're going to multiply the number on the outside. So I take this 5 times x, this 5 times 2. Even wrote it over here what I was doing. So then you would have 5x plus 10. Remember doing that back in November when we started expressions? Then step 2 is follow the rules of our two-step equations. Those rules, remember, we get rid of our constant, is any addition or subtraction. Then the coefficient, okay? That's any of your multiplication, division, multiply by the receptacle if you have fractorial, okay? All right, so let's look at this side here. We have first a 2x minus 6. Take your 2 times x and your 2 times x minus 2 times 6. And it's still going to equal 14. We are not taking 2 times 14. So then you get your real new equation. 2x minus 12 equals 14. Okay? Then you can come in and we can start using those algebraic skills. Two-step equations. Get rid of your constant first. If you see subtraction, what is the opposite of subtraction? To get it to cancel out. Because remember, we're trying to isolate that variable by itself. So then I really have now 2x equals 26. Okay, next your coefficient. Okay, so this is a multiplication problem. The opposite of multiplication is 2. Or we talked about it as the multiplicative inverse. 2 over 1, what's that flipped over? 1 over 2. That is how we know that they cancel each other out. We get our solution of x equals 13. Okay, then of course I'm going to check my work. I'm going to use the original equation though. Okay, so when I check my work, I'm going to take 2 times and then 13 minus 6 in the parentheses equals 14. So remember PEMDAS, do your parentheses, then multiplication. Okay, so 2 times, well, that is a 7. Now, even though in my head, I know already 2 times 7 is 14, but I cannot put that check mark yet. It's where a lot of you are starting to get lazy on your checking. Okay, you still have to do all the steps all the way through. Okay, you don't just make breakfast halfway through and decide you're going to start eating it before it's all finished. You have to go and finish it all. All right, let's skip 2. I am pretty confident you can do 2 on your own. It is a lot like number 1. Let's go to 3. We got that negative 3. Okay, remember you're taking 3 times x. You have negative 3 times x and negative 3 times 8. All right, so negative 3 times x is negative 3x. And then if I take negative 3 times 8, I get negative 20. 4. So there's our new equation. So now we break it down, add 24 to both sides. Okay, negative 3x, these canceled, equals 12. Okay, there's like, you owed me $12, but you made 24 bucks mowing the lawn. How much do you really have? Next step, make sure we're dividing. Okay, cancel that out. What's my solution? Is it positive or negative 4? What do you think? Negative 4 if you said that you are correct. All right, check our work, of course. Then if we do our parentheses first. You owe me $4, but you got 8. So how much do you really have? 4 bucks. And negative 12 equals negative 12. Awesome job, right? Okay. So 5 is going to be just like that one. Okay, so 5, you can look back at 3. Now 4 might throw you off only because this is where we're actually supposed to be doing that. Okay, don't let it throw you off just because it's on the other side. Let's look at 6, the word problem. The length of each side of an equilateral triangle. Think in your head, how many sides are there in a triangle? 3. Okay. Triangle is increased by 6 inches. Increase, is that adding or subtracting? That's your addition keyword right there. So the perimeter, where you add up all the sides, is now 60 inches. What was the original length of each side of the equilateral triangle? Okay, so this could get tricky, but we know our keywords. Okay, so each side was increased by 6 inches. Okay, so if we have, oops, we gotta do our variable first. What do we want our variable to represent? Well, we're trying to find the length of each side of the, so let's say S equals original side length. Okay, so now we can do our equation. Our equation, let me give myself some space to actually do my work here. We have 3 sides. That's where the parentheses comes from. And each side was increased by 6 inches. That gave it its new total of 60. Then we can sit there, take our 3 times S to get 3S, 3 times 6 to get your 18, and then go through our steps. Okay, you guys got this. You know exactly how to do this. I bet you could pause right now and do it all on your own and then come back and check with me. All right, if you're coming back with me, you are able now to see that each side, I go a little bit lower, and I ran out of space with using the text box and the font so large. Each side originally was 14 inches long. Okay. All right, so those are your 3 examples. I know you can finish easily number 2, number 4, and number 5. Okay. Then you have the next side that is an all review. Where'd that one go? Come in here. There's one with the all review. So you have actual 2 pages to do today. Okay. Yesterday's, I think this is it. Okay. So this is the mixed review, put it all together. You're going to have fractions, decimals, distributive property. Okay. Yesterday's work, if you needed to check your answers real quick, okay, you should have gotten a good chunk of them done to get in class or on your own. Okay, so if you watched the video, I did several of these. You need to check your answers, but remember when you turn it in, you have to be showing all your work and your checking to get full credit. And then the second page with the decimals, you should have gotten these as well. Okay. Alrighty, hope you guys have a great day and we will see you soon. And don't forget, you have that unit test coming here Wednesday and Thursday.